Artful Making is a book that wants to teach managers in IT and maybe other fields, but they really focus on software, how to use improvisational techniques from theater in their software management and engineering. Okay, so this was the main gist of the book, and I'm not really going to be critiquing the book, I'm just going to give you some of the big picture ideas from it. I wish I could be critiquing it. But you'll see Robert Austin, Lee Devin, and Eric Schmidt, which I think he just wrote the foreword, but those are the authors. So Artful Making. Now, the first statement of the book is that IT needs to enable companies to keep up with rapid changes. Our world is changing so fast, and our IT departments actually help the companies move with that, allowing us to put out new products very quickly and servicing our customers. So as customers get more and more finicky, as Den found out just a little while ago, I want this and I want this now. We have to be able to move quickly to feel their needs. And IT is a very big important part of that. So this book is talking about how the theater also has to move with the needs. And I'm going to go through a few of those similarities between IT and the theater right now, because I'm sure you are all skeptical. Let's see if I can go a little closer. So, the authors asked, what other industries are good at acting quickly to the ever-changing conditions? And one of those answers was theater production. Maybe it wasn't your first answer, but it was theirs. So, what are some ways that theater and software engineering are similar? First of all, they both employ creative workers. I know, as a software architect, I have to be very creative coming up with solutions that are outside the box. Very unusual things come up, and I have to think quickly and rapidly. Are there any software developers in this room that agree that it's a very creative science? Okay, good. So, there you go. They were right on this one. Both products can be changed quickly. If you think about a car is something that you have to do like a lot of machining and create these big heavy metal parts and then put them together. They do have prototypes nowadays, and I know that Russ is very interested in the 3D printing area, which is very interesting to help push that forward. But if you think about a car, it's very expensive to make a copy and then go, oh, we just completely screwed up on this. We need to start over. So in software, you can change it quickly. You can write a function, oh, that didn't work, and then recode it. So in software and in theater, you do a trial run, see how it goes, you fail, you just go in there and edit it. This technique doesn't work if you were making fine jewelry with gold. It's expensive, but this does work with software. That was another comparison. Both have to deliver something on a schedule. Does anyone here work in a group that doesn't have any schedules? Oh well. But theaters also have this. Theaters have very strict schedules. They can't just say, oh, we're going to put out the next version of Hamlet in 5 years. No, they need to finish it usually on a 6-week. They have 6 weeks of rehearsal, and then they have to put on the show. But they use these techniques, and they always deliver on time, and every show, every night, ends within 30 seconds. That's pretty amazing, right? Both rely on reconceiving versus replicating. Now, in a factory, you design it once, you get everything working, all the pieces work together, and then you just replicate, stamp them out over and over. But in software, every time someone comes to us and says, oh, we need a new provisioning system, you can't just go, oh, I'm just going to take the last one and, oh, there we go. Usually it's you're taking the ideas, you're understanding the requirements, you're trying to make sure that all the pieces fit. In theater, it's the same way. You have your screenplay, but then you have a new cast of actors. You have a new set. You have all these different things going on. You have an audience that wants something specific. So you have to reconceive Hamlet for that specific audience, and the same with software. And usually both have changes in direction mid-process. So when we come to software engineering, our clients say, I want this one thing. And in the middle of it, they look at it and go, oh, wow, no, that's not what I wanted. No. And the same thing in designing a play or doing a play is you have a lot of changes, someone gets sick, and you have to get a cast member. So you have to work with that. So those are the things that are similar between engineering, software engineering, and the theater. Now, the author spent time with People's Light Theater Company. And the reason why this was a really good example of a theater company was because this theater company finished 27 of its last 28 seasons in the black and with critics acclaim. So this was a very good example of how to run a theater. And the people actually sat there and asked the director, okay, what are you thinking now? What are you doing? What's going on? So they actually learned a lot of good things. So let's go over what they learned. Now these are all going to feel like things you know. And I actually learned this firsthand while teaching an improv class to homeless children about 2 weeks ago. That without trust, you cannot have creativity. It's just so important. I've actually worked in teams, unfortunately, I won't name which company I was working in, that were very untrustworthy. And people were afraid to say anything. You can't have a team that runs like that. You need to have those creative minds, those creative juices flowing, and a trusting team is extremely important. So create a nurturing, trusting environment. Build iteration into your process. I really love this part. You build out a prototype, you make a small piece of it, and then that buys you information. Because during the time that you created that first prototype, you learn a lot. Your users say, oh no, this is not, I have this other need. Or you learn something new about the market. So creating iterations into your process is really crucial. And this was a quote, we decided to plan incrementally and roll out future waves as we learn more about the process. Improvise, reconceive, and collaborate. This is where you're working as your team and you have some strange problem and you have to just come up with some innovative way of doing it, like these gentlemen in the pool. So in conclusion, Artful Making has some good points, but they're also a little bit too vague and not very different from most management books. But I did try to pull out some pieces for you, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.